good influence on me because I'm your parents.
Well, I try to.
Shavua Tov and Shana Tova. It's wonderful to be back for our second day, our morning service on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. And we begin by expressing how beautiful it is to be here in this holy sanctuary. Page 110.
מה טובו עליך יעקב ומשכנותיך ישראל ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה לך על קודשך ביראתך אדוני אהבתי מאוד ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך ואני אשתחווה ואכרע אברך לפני אדוני עושי ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים רב חסדך הנני באמת אישך הנני באמת אישך.
We turn to page 120 and join together in the Hebrew of Asher Yatzar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et ha'adam b'chokhmah uvra'avo nikavim nikavim chalulim chalulim galui v'yadua lifnei chisei chavodecha she'im yipateach echad mehem o yisatem echad mehem אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. On page 122, we join in the English of Elohai Neshama. Pure, my God, is the soul you gave me. You formed it, you shaped it, breathed it into me. You keep it safe within me. Someday, when the soul returns to you, I will find a place in eternity. But as long as spirit breathes within me, I place before you my thanks. Eternal, my God and God of my ancestors, creator of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai v'ruach kol besar ish. As we turn the page to 124, we will join in chanting the Nisim B'chol Yom, these blessings for everyday miracles. The way we'll do this is we'll begin with the first two lines of Hebrew and continue with the second line of English, except for the very first one, where we'll begin with your great power. And actually, for every single one, we will begin with your great power. And so we begin on page 124, and we'll continue on the following pages as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power gave the mind discernment to distinguish light from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power opens eyes that cannot see. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power brings freedom to the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power spreads the land upon the waters. 126. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power has made all I need. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power gives firmness to our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power removes sleep from my eyes, slumber from my eyelids. 128. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power endowed me with the human freedom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power has made me Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power gives strength to Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Your great power crowns Yisrael with glory. And we turn now to page 138 as we pronounce God's majesty on this day of creation.
Amelech Yoshev al Kisei Rom V'Nisa Shochen ar Marom V'Kadosh Shemo V'Chatuv Ranenu Tzarikim Adonai Vayesharim Navo Tehillah.
Page 140.
Yishtabach Shimecha La'ad Malkeinu.
Our sovereign God, source of holiness and greatness, may your name be praised forever in this world and beyond. Eternal One, God of our mothers and our fathers, your strength, sanctity, glory, and dominion are deserving of song, praise, poetry, hymn, and sacred chant, and blessings of thankfulness for all time and eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El Haodaot, Adon Haniflaot, Habocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elche Ha'olamim. And we turn now to page 142, and I invite you to rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Amevorach le'olam fa'ed.
We continue together in the Hebrew of Yotzer Or. Again, do take note of our High Holy Day inserts. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or v'rei choshech Oseh shalom u'varei et hakol Or olam be'otzar chayim Orot me'ofel amar vayichi. Page 144. Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim Uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, v'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela. Or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. On page 146. Love abundant, love unstinting, our God, you have enfolded us in love, tender compassion beyond all bounds. Your precious gift, our fathers and mothers gave you their trust. and you gave them Torah, laws by which to live. For their sake, teach us as well, grace us with your guidance. Loving Father, merciful Mother of us all, grant us clear understanding that we may listen, learn, and teach, preserve, practice, and fulfill with love every lesson of your Torah. May learning your Torah light up our eyes. May our hearts embrace your mitzvot. Unite us in love and reverence for you, that we may never feel ashamed of our deeds. Page 148. We join together. We have trusted in your great and holy name. Now let us celebrate at last the joy of your salvation. Bring us in peace from the four corners of the earth. Lead us with upright pride to the land that is ours. For you are a God of miracles and wonders. From all the peoples of the earth you sought us out and brought us near to your great enduring truth. So with love we acknowledge and proclaim that you are one. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Page 150.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malechuto, Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we join together in chanting Ve'ahavta on page 152 and 153.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'otecha ve'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לפניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lehiot lachem le'elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. Amen.
We turn to page 160 and join together in the English. True and steadfast is this teaching, beloved and treasured, a source of wonder, a fount of goodness, a thing of beauty, and ours for all time. And true it is, the eternal God is our sovereign, the rock of Jacob, our protecting shield. Through all generations, God's name lives on. God's throne stands firm, God's dominion prevails. God's grandeur and faithfulness endure through eternity. God's words are precious. They will live forever. Page 164, our Song of Freedom, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha b'hedim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'etar b'kodesh, norot eilot ose fele. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמך על שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
And we turn now to page 166 for our tefillah, and I invite you to again, please rise.
Adonai בשפתי תפתחו פי אגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 168. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchok, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol Agibor Yanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, Vezocher Chaste Avot, Ve'imahot. ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, זוכרנו לחיים. מלך חופץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרות שרו. The top of page 170, we continue with the Gevurot. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol ata rav lehoshia, morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, zomech noflim verofech horim, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה רוח, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל.
You may be seated, and we continue on page 174.
ונתנה תוקף קדושת היום, כי הוא נורא ואיום. ובוא תנשא מלכותך, ויקום בחסד כיסאך, ותשב עליו באמת.
Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe and inspires highest praise for your dominion. For your throne is a throne of love, your reign is a reign of truth. In truth you are judge and plaintiff, counselor and witness. You inscribe and seal, you record and recount. You remember all that we have forgotten, and when you open the book of memories, it speaks for itself. For every human hand leaves its mark, an imprint like no other. And we continue on page 178. We continue at the top of page 179, reading together. On Rosh Hashanah, we plunge like swimmers into a sea of words. On Yom Kippur, the sea rises, then crests, and we emerge sealed by the wax, warmed by the fire of braided candle. The new year is like a trailhead opening wide before us, the day of fasting, narrow, breathless, so quick to close. We contemplate a new year, and this we know. Some of us will live, and some of us will die. Some will die young, and some very old. Some by water, and some by fire. Some by sword, and some by beast. Some by hunger, and some by thirst. Some by plague, and some by earthquake. Some by stoning, and some by strangling. Some of us will feel at ease, some will be restless. Some will have peace of mind, some will have strife. Some will be tranquil, some will be tormented. Some will be raised high, some will be brought low. Some will have riches, some will be impoverished. Even so, the way we act, the way we speak, the way we meet God's image in ourselves and in others, these things have great power to make our lives better. Therefore, let us make whole the broken shards, green and thick the withering grass. Let the wind fill us with urgency for life. Let dreams give birth to justice and goodness. God of holiness, God of hope, let us glimpse your truth as we attach our hope to yours. We turn now to page 184, if you would all please rise.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל החי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם ועד, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, כי אל מלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, וקדוש וקדוש אותו. כי אל מלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, וקדוש וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, לדור ודור.
We turn in our prayer books to page 192, and we read together in the English. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation, upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmists believe, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah. You are holy, your name is awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh, page 194.
אתה בחרתנו מכל העמים, אהבת אותנו ורצית בנו, ורוממת אותנו מכל הלשנות וקירשתנו במצוותיך, וקרבתנו מלכנו לעבודתך, ושמך גדול והקדוש עלינו קראת, ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום הזיכרון הזה, ים תרועה מקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים.
And we continue on page 196 as we read together in the English. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for compassion, for life, and for peace on this day of remembrance. Eternal our God, remember us. Be mindful of us. And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing. And now we skip ahead in our prayer books to page 208, but have no fear, we will come back to these pages when we get to our shofar service. And we join together on page 208. God, who is ours, and God of our fathers and mothers, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness. Teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Help us to serve you truly with purity of heart, for you are a faithful God, whose truth stands forever. Baruch atah Adonai, melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, b'yom hazikaron. And we read together on page 209. Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. And we continue on page 210. We continue together. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever. Rock and protector of our lives, your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracle of your kindness, morning, noon, and night. We call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call you mercy, for your love has no limit. We call you hope, now and for all time. Page 212, we continue. And for all these gifts, God of majesty, may your name come to be blessed and praised, our gratitude a daily offering until the end of time. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness, and may all life resound with gratitude and faith in praise of your name. God, you free us and strengthen us. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And we continue in our prayer books on page 214. Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel in the time of Moses and Aaron, the threefold blessings given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May you know God's blessings of shelter and care. May it be so. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you see God's favor and goodness, and may you partake of God's peace. And we continue now on page 217. Let the pursuit of peace and justice be our highest good, and may all people make peace their responsibility. Let Torah be a light that guides our lives toward empathy and understanding, toward generosity of heart. Let peace be our passion, chief among our prayers, every season of the year, every hour of the day. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom. And we now take a moment for silent and personal prayer.
אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני צורי וגואלי וגואלי.
Page 222. Loving Father, infinite power, gentle, forgiving, lofty, inscrutable, Avinu Malkeinu. Compassionate Mother, omnipotent Lord, comforting presence, fathomless mystery, Avinu Malkeinu. Our rock and redeemer, life of the universe, close to us always, impossibly far, Avinu Malkeinu. Embracing, confounding, accepting our frailty, decreeing our end, Avinu Malkeinu. Together, none of these are true, none of them are you. Yet we stand as those before us have stood, summoned to judgment, longing for love, Avinu Malkeinu. May these words be a bridge. They come from our hearts. May they lead us to you. I invite us all to rise, and I also invite forward our Torah service participants for this morning. Page 223.
Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you.
Avinu Malkeinu Chamol Aleinu Ve'al Olalenu V'Tapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, kale dever v'cherev v'ra'av me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, haught the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, kale kol tsar umastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, kotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu
Malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu va'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu. Avinu Malkeinu, chonenu v'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim.
We continue at the top of page 228.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rahum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim v'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Notzer Avon v'Fesha v'Chata'ah v'Nakeh.
Adonai, Adonai, God compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the thousandth generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh v'Norah, Shemo Gadol Adonai Ti, Uneromema Shemo Yachdav, Elecha Adonai Hagedol v'Hagevor v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Hagod, Ki chol b'shamayim v'haaretz, Ki chol b'shamayim v'haaretz, Lecha Adonai hamamalachol, Ve'admit na'aseh lechol l'rosh.
And this morning, our Torah reading is actually the one that both Rabbi Rosenberg and I spoke about in our sermons on Friday night and yesterday morning. It is, of course, the story of creation. This is, again, what the early reformers recommended, that since this is Hayom Harat Olam, the birthday, the beginning, the creation of the world, we might as well hear that story firsthand from our Torah. And so, as we read this morning, I invite forward Bob and Valerie Parham to lead us in our Torah blessings, which can be found on page 230.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvarak.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarak le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bakar banu mekol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'haaretz hayda tohu v'avohu v'choshech al pnei tehom, v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or, vayehi or. Vayan Elohim et haor ki tov. Vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hakoshech. Vayikra Elohim lahor yom v'lachoshech har halayla. Vayerev vayivoker yom echad. Vayomer Elohim yehi rakia betog hamayim, vayehi mavdil bein mayim lamayim. Vayas Elohim et harakia, vayavdel bein hamayim. Asher mitachad larakia uvein hamayim. Asher me'al harakia vayechen. ויקרא אלוהים לרקיע השמיים, ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שני. ויאמר אלוהים יגבו המים מתחת השמיים אל המקום אחד, ותראה יבשה ויהי כן. ויקרא אלוהים על יבשה ארץ מקווה המים קרא ימים, וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויאמר אלוהים תוצ'י הארץ דשא עשב מזריע זרע עץ פרי, עושה פרי למינו אשר זרעו על הארץ, ויהי כן. ותוצא הארץ דשא עשב מזריע זרע למינו, ויצא עושה פרי אשר זרעו למינו, וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שלישי.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'kayei olam nata betokenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Please stand. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. Please be seated.
And at this time, as we transition into our Haftarah reading, I also invite up any of our shofar service participants to please come to the bima. Our Haftarah blessings can be found on page 247. And our reading this morning is found just a few pages later on page 255. And I invite forward for our Haftarah blessings, David Lega.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza v'divrechem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'invi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Amen.
Ko Amar Adonai, thus said the Eternal. A people, survivors of the sword, gained grace in the wilderness. Long ago, when Israel was on its journey home, the Eternal appeared and said, with an everlasting love I have loved you. Indeed, with a love that is faithful, I draw you near. Once more I will build you up, young maiden Israel. You will be made anew. Once more you will take up your drums in hand and join in the dance of the joyous. Once again you will plant vines on Samaria's hills, and the planters will live to enjoy them. For a day is coming when watchmen will announce in the hills of Ephraim, "Arise, and let us go up to Zion, to the Eternal our God." For thus said the Eternal, "Cry out in joy for Jacob, cry out in praise over the pinnacle of the nations. Sing and shout and say with voices raised, Eternal, save your people, the remnant of Israel." And we can find our after Haftorah blessing on page 259.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'amim tzadik b'chol hadarot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yoseh hamdaber kayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al ha'yom ha'zikaron hazeh Shenatatan lanu Adonai Eloheinu lechavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol hai tamid le'olam va'ed udvarcha emet v'kayom la'ad Baruch atah Adonai Melech HaKol Haaretz, Mekadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron.
Amen. Yasher koach. And now, as we are putting all three of our pieces of our shofar service together, we are turning back in our book to page 202 as we join together with our Aleinu L'Shabeach, the great Aleinu.
And we invite forward if any young people, or if you're feeling young, want to sit on the steps for our shofar service, we invite you to come sit on the steps for the shofar service if you would like.
Please stand. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol Latet Gedolah Liotzer Bereshit Shelo asanu Kegoyei ha'aratzot Velo samanu Kemishpechot Adomo Shelo Someregeno Gahem Vegoraleinu Kechol Amonom Va'anachnu Koreim Umishtohavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malachei HaMalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And I call forward Abby Sussman for our first reading of Malchuyot.
What does it mean to proclaim your sovereignty when we don't understand kings? Before the Big Bang, there was you. In the old year, we allowed habits to rule us. Help us throw off that yoke so our best selves may serve you. Help us surrender. The cosmos is not under our control. Help us fall to our knees and find home in your embrace. Let your power increase in the world. Help us be unashamed of yearning. Strengthen our awe and our love so our prayers will soar.
And on page 206, we join together in the blessing for hearing the shofar.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher gereshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmo kol shofar.
Tikiyah, Shivarim Teruah, Tikiyah, Tikiyah, Shivarim, Tikiyah, Tikiyah, Teruah, Tikiyah. And we read together on the bottom of page 207, let the wishes of our lips, our heart's desire be pleasing before you, God Most High. You are knowing and attentive, watchful and aware when we call out Tikiyah. Lovingly, favorably receive our prayers of Malchuyot. And we turn to page 268. And yet I invite forward Linda Wanieski to, did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
I did, wonderful, thank you. I invite forward Linda to lead us in a reading for Zichronot.
God, remember us, not only our mistakes, but our good intentions and our tender hearts. Remember our ancestors who for thousands of years have asked forgiveness for the wail of the ram's horn. Today again, we open ourselves to the calls of the shofar, reminding us, sleepers, awake. We remember what matters most in our lives. Help us shed old memories which no longer serve us. Help us instead to always remember you.
Tikiyah, Shivarim Teruah, Tikiyah, Tikiyah, Shivarim, Tikiyah, Tikiyah, Teruah, Tikiyah. And again, we join together on the bottom of page 269. Let the wishes of our lips, our heart's desire, be pleasing before you, God Most High. You are knowing and attentive, watchful and aware when we call out, Tikiyah. Lovingly, favorably receive our prayers of Zichronot. And now we turn to page 277 as we return our Torah to the Ark.
It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to them that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. Eitz chaim hi lamachazikim ba betomerecha. Me'ushar etz chaim hi lamachazikim ba betomerecha. Me'ushar. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Turn to page 284 as I offer this reading of Shofarot. The shofar reminds us of the ram in the thicket. Where are we, too, ensnared? Can our song set us free? The sound of the shofar shatters our complacency. It wails with our grief and stutters our inadequacy. The shofar calls us to tshuva. The shofar cries out, I was whole, I was broken, I will be whole again. Make shofars of us, God. Breathe through us. Make of us resonating chambers for your love. Tikia, Shivarim Trua, Tikia, Tikia, Shivarim, Tikia, Tikia, Trua, Tikia Gedolah, Yasher Koach, and again we read, let the wishes of our lips, our heart's desire, be pleasing before you, God Most High. You are knowing and attentive, watchful and aware when we call out, Tikia, lovingly, favorably receive our prayers of Shofarot. And we turn now to page 286 as we remain standing for the Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגוררנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 288. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Thank you. And before we conclude our service, and Rabbi Reinhardt will have a few announcements, I just want to say a thank you to Cantor Eicher, who always pinch hits. We weren't sure if Robert was going to be here today or not. Beautifully, his daughter at the last minute decided to come home from college, and that also meant that he might have had to drive her back today. And I said, that is fine. We always get excited and say yes to our children when they want to come home from college to be with us for the holy days. And while he tried very hard to get a ride for her, clearly he needed to take her back, which is wonderful because they have plenty of time now to have daughter-dad time in the car for 6 hours to Cincinnati, which is great. I think she's at Miami of Ohio. But I want to say a big thank you to Cantor Eicher, because as he was singing and blowing shofar and singing and blowing shofar, while I'm not a singer, I do know how easy it is to get out of breath when you are singing and doing things, and to also be able to blow the shofar. That's a lot. Thank you. Thank you for always pinch hitting and jumping in. We are so very blessed and appreciative. So I just wanted to acknowledge that this morning. Thank you. Take it away, Rabbi Reinhardt.
And so just a couple of quick announcements. First is that at noon today, we will be meeting at the Lake on Ladue Road for a Tashlich service and moment for us to cast off some of the things that we may have done differently, that we may have wanted to do differently this year. And of course, this is just the beginning of our High Holy Days, because in only a little bit more than a week, on Sunday, September 24th, we will be back here in the evening at 7:30 for our Kol Nidre service. And again, on Monday, we will join at 9 a.m. for our children's service first, and then our morning services begin at 10 a.m., and we will have things here in our congregation at United Hebrew throughout the entire day of Yom Kippur, things from studying and introspection and all the wonderful things that we get to do during this High Holy Day season. But again, we hope that you will join us, and we'll see many of you, whether you're here this morning or you're joining us virtually, for Tashlich at noon today. And so now, as we move towards the conclusion of our service, we turn to page 291. Our thoughts now turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. We turn to page 292, and I invite you to rise if you are able as we join together in our mourners' Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yurteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela ul'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, amen. And so we conclude this morning's service, the second day of Rosh Hashanah, with a wonderful song, a wonderful opportunity to sing together, Ein Keloheinu, on page 299.
Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalekenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adonenu, Mich Kemalekenu, Mich Kemoshienu. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malekenu, no del Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu.
And we wish you all, and we hope you will wish each other a Shana Tova, a very good year.